SoFloRadio.com, and SoFloTelevision.com.
Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, or a spirit of optimum age and class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze. By the glass.
Well, hello everybody, welcome to By the Glass. I'm your host, Brett Hubbard, and we are here to explore the wonderful world of wine, beer, spirits, and all kinds of stuff in between. We got a great show for you tonight, and I'm proud and pleased to have my guest host, Jason, in the house.
Yeah,
Jason! Good to have you back. We've missed you. You've been out there listening in the winds. I know you've been working hard, but you said you've been listening on the show.
I have been listening every week, yes.
Yeah, okay, good. So at least we have one listener out there. Very good. You got of course, Mr. Crazy. I've been on board.
Yes, I am.
He's been extra crazy and extra bad. We'll get into that a little bit later. We got Intern D over here.
Hello.
Welcome, Intern D. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited for a few different things here. Well, I'm very excited for Mr. Joe Keel, the founder and president of Keel and Curley Wines. He's a Florida vinter who will be calling into the show to talk all about his 10 years in business anniversary and a 1 million bottles sold. Great contest coming up that's going to be a real big thing for all you people out there that buy the Keel and Curley brand out in public. So that's fantastic. We got a couple of really great wines as well that we're going to be tasting tonight. Only a couple of wines, so we might have to hold off the drinking. We might actually have to do some shots of some other stuff just to kind of keep it crazy.
Okay.
Because I want to have some fun. You know, I haven't even been able to utter. I mean, it's been like the last few shows. It's been like this ongoing, guests that don't stop talking. So you guys, you don't get to hear me talk.
I like those.
I resent that
personally.
We'll say they're very informative.
George gets work done, yeah. But, it's like we like to have a nice banter back and forth around here. It's been a while since we had fun and just partied on this show.
Yeah.
It really has. So these are some great wines that he's brought to us.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, thanks. Ed is, scrounged up some really nice wines.
What do we have?
I love Ed Roberts.
We do. We all do. As a matter of
Wait,
fact,
what?
we should make.
I know
Roberts. I know why.
What do you think?
Can do no wrong for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
I know
Yep.
why.
Oh yeah, I know why
I know
too.
why.
Yeah.
You see that glass on the poster? That's
Yeah.
why.
Okay. Yeah. She messed up my sign.
No, man.
Oh, okay.
Color.
Oh, the color. Oh, yeah. That's why. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I got her to break a wine glass. She got me to turn beet red. So it was nice team effort.
Yeah,
there.
it's not weird that he has the red tape and
Yes.
everything over there.
Oh, this guy, he's going crazy over here. Man. So anyway, we got some really good wines here tonight. Out of the wines that they do make, and they make quite a plethora of great different wines, they're not like your typical Florida winery, Keel and Curley. They don't just grow the muscadine and use that. They actually grow different crops, and they make different wines. They buy grapes and juice, I believe. I would imagine he's going to call in and explain it all from different entities, and they make different wines in that manner. That's a really good aspect of winemaking. People don't actually have to grow the product that they're going to use to make the wines. A lot of people don't. As a matter of fact, that's where the estate bottled aspect came from, that people grow their own product to use it. Even in the beer business, people make estate products. They grow their own barley. They grow their own hops. All organic. Sierra Nevada has that type of thing. So it's a real interesting aspect. Anybody can be a winemaker in any part of the world. No. They just need to have the raw materials.
Not me. That's not a true statement.
George, come on.
I could not be a winemaker. No.
George told a story once. He had the Kool-Aid and the piece of wheat bread in the little, and he made the prison stuff.
You said you wouldn't tell me that story.
Oh, but I loved it. It was really good.
Prison wine?
Prison wine. The Kool-Aid and the wheat bread.
You said you wouldn't tell any of my prison stories on the air, Brett Hubbard.
Shit. Sorry. Whoops. There you go. Whoops. Oh,
definitely don't tell the others.
Oh, no, I even swore. Oh, jeez. This whole show's just
Don't talk about prison and don't curse.
Yes. Oh, boy. Here we go. The whole thing's out the window. This is going to be a great show.
Nothing on me.
Absolutely.
What time is it? Or 5 minutes in.
Keel and Curley. Double gold for that strawberry fusion you're opening right there. Double gold's pretty dang good, I got to say. And then they have a Key West line. We did not get that one, unfortunately. We didn't get the Key West.
Look how you taught me.
We might have tried that one before.
Wow.
We've had them on the show before, right?
I'm imagine that we did a Florida wine show. We've done a couple of Drink Local series on this show. This show's been around for like almost.
Is this the place that's down south?
No, you're confusing it with
the other.
Yeah, with the other place.
The Schnebley?
Yes.
This is Keel and Curley. These guys are further north. They're in Plant City.
But they kind of do the same thing, right?
Not necessarily. Well, here's one of the interesting aspects is they do use fruit to make the wines. I do know that he does use some of the blueberries. The blueberry wine is not, like I said, it is not a muscadine base and then blueberry flavoring. He actually uses blueberries that are left over from his harvest. Now, it's a live crop, so like supply and demand and commodities aspect, I would imagine that the price of things when they're out of season tend to go down. So if you have any leftover harvest, you would want to use them in the most advantageous way that you possibly could to where you're going to make the most profit. Now, I think it's a great idea to make a wine out of blueberries.
Absolutely. I love blueberries.
Definitely. So he decided his hand at the blueberry wine. 10 years later, Keel and Curley has won more than 250 awards in excellence in winemaking. He's produced 1 million bottles.
Okay.
Wow.
So 1 million bottles times how much per bottle? I mean, the guy's doing okay as far as I'm
He's
concerned.
doing all right, yeah.
Yeah, they're up in, I don't know how to say this, it's Tantasasa Road on Plant City, Florida. Have you ever been to Plant City, Florida?
Yes, I have.
Ouch.
Woohoo.
Ooh, what was that? Watch
George
it,
just got shocked.
What you need, George?
How did we do that again?
George is touching me, and he's talking about prison.
Yes, I have driven through Plant City several times.
Really? What's going on in Plant City? Talk to me about
Plants?
Not much, I don't think so.
Are there now? This is my question, and maybe Mr. Joe Keel will know. Is it like a plant, like a production plant city, or is it like plants that grow out of the ground plant city?
Where's
Production
it by?
plant, I think.
Yeah, because
Well, he's been there. I haven't been there.
I
Where's it by?
drove through there.
Is it,
to be honest.
Do you
is
know
it like by
what general
Lakeland
area?
or I don't know.
It's by Jacksonville. I can picture it being like plants.
Like plant, like production.
I think
plants.
it's in like Central Florida, right?
Yeah,
it's
so
like central
that-
by like Lakeland. Okay.
Yeah, it's just picture Central Florida.
Okay.
But
Well, I'm
you
sure it's a
gotta-
wonderful place, and that these guys have a really nice plot of land. I've been driving all through there. When we did the Drink Local wine series, I had about 6 or 7 different wines from all over Florida that I personally went to the wineries and bought the bottles myself, tasted them, talked to everybody who owned the place. I didn't make it to Keel and Curley, but they were definitely on the list. But it's kind of just the way the highways go. You can only get off the highway so many times and meander around because the roads get small and there's just an A to B type of thing, and you kind of have to have a destination. It's tough to meander in that part of the world. It's going to take you many days to navigate through all the things. They call it the Bite, the Florida Bite, right there, north of Tampa, and then you got
It's because it bites.
because it looks. Hey, watch your mouth. But no, they call it the Florida Bite, kind of like the Great.
Well, we like this part of Florida.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
we live
Oh,
here.
okay,
We like it
it's
here.
it's just a little bit east of Tampa.
Okay, that's
Kind
not
of like
bad.
on your way to Orlando from Tampa.
I've probably driven through it then myself. That makes sense. Yeah, definitely east of Tampa. Well, that's cool. I mean, there's a lot of definitely good.
It smells like jelly.
Agriculture up there. Smells like jelly. We're gonna get
I mean,
into all
I-
that.
we'll
I know
try
it's
it.
tough to wait, but we gotta kind of like.
We'll pace it. What
Yeah.
we got? 6:00. Yeah, I got a minute. 6:09. When do we? What? Jason's the
Joe's
original-
gonna be calling in around 6:50.
Jason is the parliamentarian of this show. What time is drinking time on that?
We should at least sample some.
You want to
now.
sample
I
before
mean, we
Joe
could
calls
sample
in?
it. Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we've got the glasses
Which color?
over here.
Red or white? Which direction should
You
we
gotta
go?
start with white.
White.
Which is definitely the strawberry. Now, don't take this one lightly, guys. Want a double
Well,
gold.
we've had several strawberry wines, so I'm a strawberry wine aficionado.
You're aficionado now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would imagine so.
I just
definitely.
like strawberry wine.
You like strawberry
I like
wine?
the song "Strawberry Wine."
I like cherry wine. And drink some cherry wine.
Is that a song too? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's we don't have to take our clothes off. But
Yes.
we all know that's a lie. So, fantastic. So, as
Because I put a lot of coasters out today. Help me
I
out.
see that. What's with all the coasters, George?
I want every time we do one of these shows, we always have to scramble for coasters, and I didn't want that to happen this time. So
And we don't?
Cool.
We don't.
We definitely are not scrambling today. We're a little scrambled, but we're not scrambling. I thought it was like you wanted some kind of thin membrane down.
Well, I was
on-
cleaning up, and I thought, let me just
Well,
decorate a little
let me
bit here with
just
some
tell
practicality.
you, the smell of strawberry is in the air. I mean,
It's wafting.
yeah, it's wafting through the air.
There is a waft of strawberries in the air.
I just dripped it on my
This is
jeans.
great. Now, I
Big
didn't,
strawberry
I
on the
didn't
nose.
actually get to the notes on this one. I was reading about the blueberry wine, and then he does blackberry, dry blackberry. The interesting thing about this is we all know about attenuation. Let me geek out for a minute. The amount that alcohol is ferments from sugars is attenuation. How dry you want your wine, how sweet you want your wine. Everybody knows that Rieslings are the ones that everybody knows about, whether it's a sweet wine or a dry Riesling, that type of thing. Well, I feel he does the same thing with these types of fruits, to where he basically can gauge how dry he wants them or how sweet they, and it creates a completely different kind of wine. So they're all made from. So as far as
Tastes
the
like candy.
the blueberry wines, there's a semi-sweet, a semi-dry, and then a dry. Several different types of wines. He has fusion wines. Fusion wines are the wines that are fused and they're blended. I think they're 90% grape base. So he uses Merlot or Chardonnay.
So
He
is this
blends them with-
infused?
I believe this is a fusion one. So this would probably be Chardonnay or Chardonnay blended with strawberries. What does it say on the label there? I would imagine so.
It just says grape wine. It doesn't say specifically which
Okay, that's
one.
good. No, that means he buys Chardonnay and that he.
I wonder if there's some sort of artificial strawberry flavor.
No,
Or that's natural.
I bet that's all natural. Yeah.
With natural flavor added.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's very natural. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's it's surprisingly good. I thought it was going to be too sweet, but it finishes nicely, right?
It says I'm a wine snob, and I am. But you know,
You're supposed to be.
you need to really put things in their place. What am I expecting out of this wine? Exactly what it turned out to be. Yeah, it could be a little colder though.
Yeah,
I
well,
kind of like it.
That's not their fault. That's ours.
No, that's ours. But this is fantastic. So
Okay, a summertime picnic.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
definitely.
Yeah,
No, absolutely. You know what I really want? This was something super spicy. You know, like an Asian Thai.
I
you
kind of
know.
want this by itself.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you
after
know,
I eat. Like,
One
a
cheese.
dessert.
This
man.
is like a dessert wine.
I want some like blue cheese or something.
oh
with
wow,
this.
that would be perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, some nice
blue
Roquefort.
cheese and some
Yeah, but you know
chips
the
or
good
something.
thing about this being sweet is that it quenches the spice. In
Oh,
there.
yeah, definitely.
So I mean, you can have something that's super hot, something spicy, and you can really just like quench it.
Spicy.
Yeah, quench the spice, man. But he's going to be calling in talking about the Golden Cork contest. Definitely, it's a very interesting thing. That I think it's a really great idea. That's why it kind of caught our eye, and why we actually asked Joe to be calling on the show, is because it's a really great contest that they're doing, the Golden Cork contest. It's to celebrate and thank the customers who have helped Keel and Curley grow from a small family winery in Plant City, Florida. In 2003, they're one of the biggest wineries in the Southeast. That's pretty good. That's amazing. Its wines are sold in over 1,500 stores, including Publix, Walmart, and Total Wine. So that is notable. That is notoriety. So we're very, very honored to have him call in and talk about this. And he's going to elaborate on the fact of the contest, but for the most part, it's something that we all kind of know from kids. I mean, have you ever watched the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
No.
The question is how many times have I watched it?
All the time. You're right.
I don't like
You ever
If it's
watched
on the
it
TV,
while
you don't
weren't
change the channel.
inebriated, George?
Yeah. Oh,
You remember
Well,
the
you weren't
storyline.
inebriated when you were like 7.
That's George you're talking about.
Yeah. Entirely possible. I didn't start drinking until I was 9. Come on.
That's what I said, 7.
Fair enough.
I know this story.
Yeah, so it's a great story, and I'm not going to steal his thunder, but it's somewhat in the vein of that. I do know that the prizes are great, and it's one of those things to where there's a secondary aspect to it, to where if you do win, you can go up to the winery. So everyone who's a winner is involved in the overall winery aspect of it. So you get to go there and you get to do a free tasting, and you probably even get some decent.
And right on cue.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Mr. Joe Keel, founder and president of Keel and Curley Winery.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir? Welcome to Buy the Glass Show.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, thank you. We're sitting here trying some of your wonderful wine. We found it quite refreshing.
Great. Glad to hear that.
Absolutely. We were kind of discussing the area from which you guys are from, Plant City. Could you elaborate a little bit on that, agricultural aspects of it, how you got into this type of winemaking, if you wouldn't mind?
Sure. We're Plant City is basically 17 miles east of Tampa,
Okay.
about 65 miles west of Orlando. Probably the biggest municipality closest to us is Lakeland, Florida.
Right. That's fine.
Plant City's famous for strawberries.
Did we tell?
Most people in Florida have heard that, and we have
Absolutely.
a big strawberry festival every March, where 1 million people come into town, a town of about 48,000. But we about 1995, I was in the nursery business growing landscape material, plants and trees and flowers and that type of thing, and heard about blueberries growing and being able to be grown in Florida, cultivars that were developed by the University of Florida, because blueberries, like most fruits like that, need a certain amount of chill or colder weather, like cherries or like apples, peaches. All those fruits need a certain amount of cold. In Florida, obviously, we don't get a lot of cold, especially even in Central Florida. We don't get a lot of chill hours, which is anything below 45 degrees is a chill hour. So the University of Florida developed varietals that would fruit in Florida, and that interests me. I got into that, and one thing led to the next. I converted my 25-acre nursery into a 25-acre blueberry farm over the course of about 3 or 4 years. Gradually converted it.
So other
and
people
when
were other people growing strawberries around you? I mean, the strawberries are also very okay.
Plant City is it's considered the winter strawberry capital of North America.
Okay.
In fact, maybe even the world.
Wow.
Obviously, like South Florida, we when everybody's frozen up north, there's not too many strawberries being grown unless they're in greenhouses, and we're able to grow usually from November through March is when the strawberry crop is. But yeah, there's tremendous amount of strawberries that come out of our immediate area here.
That's great. But you're in the blueberry business.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm, I never was really interested in growing strawberries. There's a lot of people doing it, and
flooded market.
So when I heard the blueberry thing, and I got excited, and I started growing them, and once even with the first harvest, there's always a certain amount of fruit that at the end of the season, in all agriculture, that for whatever reason the price drops below the cost of harvesting, and a lot of good product goes to waste. So we decided I decided basically to try to make wine. I wasn't interested in blueberry syrup or jams or jellies, which would be another alternative to make out of these blueberries that were kind of at the end of the season. But so I went to my local wine and beer shop where they sell ingredients for the home brewer or the home winemaker, and bought a book and started reading, and next thing I know, I bought simple equipment to make 5-gallon batches of blueberry wine.
Had you ever worked with grapes before you got into the blueberries?
No, not at all. In fact, I wasn't really a wine drinker. I did drink wine, and Merlot and Cabernets were my wine of choice, but I was really more of a beer connoisseur than I was a wine, believe it or not. It's kind of still am, actually.
Cool.
But so no, I hadn't had any experience with grapes or doing anything with wine, and one thing led to the next, and we grew out of that. That was in 2002. In 2003, we became incorporated and got a license and started producing wine out of blueberries for eventually selling them in the open market. And I don't think we really had a lot of wine to sell until probably 2005. And then we were going door to door, knocking on small wine shops, and it was kind of a tough hurdle, in all honesty.
Yeah.
It's a fruit wine other than grape is hard to break into the market. People, especially real wine connoisseurs, just do not believe anything can be made into wine except grapes.
Well,
so that's been a constant struggle.
Yeah, no, that's something that a lot of people deal with, and it's funny. Ed and I were going back and forth about. He calls me a wine snob, and I said, well, if it's something that doesn't set out to be, if it's not setting out to be, if it is setting out to be what it is, which is a blueberry wine out of blueberries or strawberry, or maybe use a base, then it's something that I'm expecting. Then I can definitely appreciate it, and I'm sure you found a niche with that. Not trying to set out to be a Merlot or a Cabernet, but something of its own entity. I think that people can really appreciate that. I'm sure that you guys you are proof to that.
Oh sure, oh yeah, and there's always going to be those that that I've had people doing tastings that will walk by the table, and we offered them to have a taste, and they said, well, you can't make wine out of blueberries, for goodness sakes. And I said, well, would you like to try it? And oh, no. So those people, you're going to have those people, and that's not our market. Our market is actually people who are not wine drinkers.
Right.
It kind of sounds funny, but we're after the people who have tried a Cab or tried a Merlot or tried a Chardonnay, and they just really didn't care for the taste. But when they taste our wine, which is typically sweeter, obviously, if you're trying it there, you know.
Yeah.
And people are pleasantly surprised. They go, "Wow, this is great," you know. And so, in all honesty, there's a lot more people we found in the market that aren't wine drinkers than are.
Well,
so
let me ask you a question.
That's kind of been our niche.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Joe, about some of these drier wines that you like, the dry blackberry. When you're messing around and experimenting, and we use the big word attenuation. You can ferment these wines all the way dry. What were some of your experiences with that, getting away from the sweeter stuff, but using the fruits that you had? I mean, did you do any wines like that? You have wines in your portfolio like that, and how did those come about and everything?
Oh yeah, and I met a fella who actually from Vermont, who was in the blueberry wine business in the neighboring county down up here in Pinellas County, and we kind of met through mutual friends, and we kind of partnered. And one thing that I wanted, I was he was the knowledge, and I was the guy that had a couple dollars to invest. I wanted a dry wine. That's what I preferred.
Right.
So I said, "Can you make a dry blueberry wine?" He goes, "Absolutely." And it's not. It's about about a 1.5% residual sugar. It's not super duper dry by any means, but it's definitely a lot drier than most of our wines. But that came about. You go into the dry side, and to be honest with you, the blueberry dry wine that we sell is probably one of our least liked as far as the public. I mean,
right, because that's not your niche.
It's kind of the bottom feeder of our portfolio as far as sales. The owner of the business wants something, and sometimes it doesn't always pan out to be the best seller,
right? Which
is okay. But then we got into the blackberry wines, and we do actually, our dry blackberry is probably superior to the blueberry. In fact, most people think it is.
Are there nuances between all these different little fruits? I mean, is it like harder to work with a blackberry than a blueberry or a strawberry? I mean, do you find stuff like that, or are they all pretty much the same?
No, they're all different. I think probably the hardest has been strawberries over the course of the years to make a good wine. And our fusion wines, and that's one thing that we learned early on, that making a straight strawberry wine was, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's very difficult. And what we did is we came up with a blend. We took Riesling grapes and fermented them to a wine, and then blended back in a strawberry flavor, natural flavoring.
Right.
And that's kind of, our fusion wines are blends of that. So we have a tangerine Zinfandel and peach Chardonnay. So they're 90% grape with and that kind of sweetens them up when you add the fruit, obviously.
Right.
It's, Riesling being sweet anyway, but
right.
So they're not pure. The only pure fruit we do is blueberries and blackberries. The other ones are blended with grapes.
Well, it's like you said that you were a home brewer and whatnot. I mean, nobody makes a beer out of all, specialty malts. There's a base of two-row pale, and then you add in, the things that make it its own. You don't really need the whole thing to be one type of substance. It can be a mixture of many. So that makes perfect sense to me.
Right.
Fantastic. So talk to me a little bit about this. Well, first of all, congratulations on 10 years in business and 1 million bottles sold. Let's give him a hand, guys. That's really amazing. That's absolutely. Especially for somebody, who just got into the business on, something he wanted to do. And I hope it's something you love.
That was pretty lame, George.
Woohoo! Yeah.
So where's your kazoo?
Yeah. But now look where you are, and that's fantastic. And I'm sure you're having a wonderful time. Talk to me about this contest you got. the whole Willy Wonka golden ticket contest aspect. I don't know what
We thought we had a golden cork here for a moment.
Jason
too.
thought he had a golden cork, but said if he would have sent us one, I.
Well, we came up with this idea that, it's our 10th year. October 10th will officially be our 10th anniversary. And we're getting real close to the millionth bottle. It'll actually, we figured based on what numbers we've accumulated over the course of, and you got to keep pretty good numbers, mainly for the federal government
Sure,
and
of
state
course.
government, because they want their tariffs, or as we call them, excise tax. So we got pretty good numbers, obviously, but we feel like our millionth bottle, it's going to be bottled sometime in the next 10 days. And that, what we planned on doing is just one bottle with one gold cork, which would be the millionth bottle. And then we talked about it, and we said, let's make more of a contest out of it. Let's put 10 golden corks out into the marketplace, and hopefully all 10 of those are found. There's no guarantee of that, obviously, because somebody buys a bottle and puts it in their wine rack and never takes the foil off. They're not going to know they have a possible winner.
Right.
But
if it's the second or
if
third
the
bottle of the night, they might just throw the thing away.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have those 10 people. Let's say all 10 corks are found. We're going to have all 10 people come here on the 10th of October, and we're going to have them up. We have a stage. We have at our tasting room. We have a event center. We have music on the weekend, so on and so forth. We're going to have them all up on the stage together. All 10. They're going to win something. They've already won something. We're going to obviously have, but the grand prize winner will be, and I'll go into what the prize is in a minute, but they're going to sit at a table all together, and they're going to have a multiple choice checklist where all 19 of our wines will be on this list, and they will be given, each will be given the same glass of wine at the same time, and they will be asked to identify that wine.
Wow. That's a twist.
So they check off say it's a strawberry Riesling, and they all check off what they think it is, and if, say, 8 people get it right, 2 people missed it. The 2 people are asked to leave the table. They're eliminated. And we do this until there's one person left. And that one person will win a trip for 2, all expense paid, to San Francisco, where they will catch a train up to Napa Valley and take the train tour of Napa's wineries. Wow. And that is what it's a week-long basic all expense paid to go enjoy the California wine country.
Fantastic. I mean, that's a great trip. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of media build about this. They're going to bring people into the winery. It's turning it up a notch for sure. It's a great idea. So tell me. So you say it's about 10 days till that million bottles gets bottled, that 1 millionth bottle, and then you got to go. It goes into distribution and whatnot. So it could probably just going to make it into the market probably about early October, right? I mean, or late September.
No, that's the beauty of it. We actually do our own distributing.
Oh, you do? Oh, great.
Yes. So we're able to make sure that those 10 bottles are put into the marketplace within a few days of being bottled. And that's one thing about our wine. Our wine is made to be consumed young.
Right.
It doesn't, we had somebody call the other day and asked, they had a bottle of our peach Chardonnay that was 6 years old.
Ooh.
And they wanted to know if they thought they wanted to serve it for a special occasion. And my manager at our tasting room said, well, in all honesty, it'd be a good vinegar.
Yeah, make a great salad.
Salad dressing.
We were very low sulfites. We use very low. Our wine's made to be drank, really within the first few weeks, if not a year and a half. Shelf life is probably about the extent of it. So we're hoping we'll have those out within the first week, and hopefully they'll all be found, and we'll have 10 people.
Do you think they'll be well distributed throughout the whole state, or just more around that central area? I mean, you guys are in all the Publixes. We're gonna make sure that at least 4 or 5 are distributed through Publix chain. We take everything to their warehouse, which is actually in Lakeland, Florida, 10 miles from our front door. So yes, it could be in Key West, it could be in Panama City, it could be in Jacksonville, it could be in Tampa. There's really those we don't have any idea where they're going to end up. Now, the ones that we are actually going to deliver ourselves, because we do business with a lot of other independent retailers, and we're not going to tell anybody, including the retailer, but we want to share with everybody, not just the chain stores. So I'm sure they'll be around the state, at least 4 or 5 of them. Great. So you guys got all kinds of stuff going on too, not just that wonderful event to celebrate the 10 years, but you have a lot of upcoming events. You have a blueberry stomp and mud run. Does that mean people actually get to get into blueberries and stomp them up with their bare feet and that type of thing?
Actually, my son, who started this last year as a fundraiser for charities, and this one's for an education fund with our local. He's coupling with the local Chamber of Commerce here for people, the underprivileged people, to be able, that can't afford to go to college. Make sure that we get some scholarships and get some people that can't afford to go to Florida or Florida State or some of the bigger schools in the state. But anyway, what he sets up a course. It's about, round numbers, a half mile and maybe to 3/4 of a mile throughout our farm. And where the blueberry fits in, the last hurdle, and there's all kinds of mud bogs that the runners have to go through. There's fences wood fences that have to be climbed over. But the last obstacle is about a 10-foot deep pit that you have to go in and under, which is full of blueberries.
Wow. You got to go under.
That's great. You almost have to,
sounds like fun.
You don't have to put your head under, but
it's way better than those mud runs people are always going on.
Yeah, that's great.
So last year we had about 1,400 people, and
wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of fun, and people have a great time doing it.
Now, you guys sponsored by Efferdent, the dentures. They always use blueberries.
They do. What's up with that?
I just had to throw that in there. That's what came to my mind when you said the mud run. I mean, just inundated with blueberry. That's awesome. Hey, I see also here that you guys do a Beertober festival. And, this is By the Glass. We're a show about beverage culture overall, so we do wine, beer, spirits, everything. We're always talking, we're all about
we don't discriminate against alcohol.
That's right. So, but you got a local homebrewer fest going on here. Share your beer with everybody. I bet you guys make a great blueberry homebrew, huh?
Well, that's what everybody asks us. We are creating our first. This will actually be our first Beertober Fest.
Cool.
We are getting ready to kick off, and it's October 19th here at the winery and at our store, to kick off our own brewery, which my youngest son, the one that does the mud run, is the brewmaster, has been studying and doing batches on his own, and actually studying with the Siebel School of Brewing up in
top-notch
Chicago
school.
Online.
Top-notch.
But anyway, the name of our brewery is going to be Two Henry's Brewing Company, and very significant to Florida and South Florida, because I know where that's.
I just
that's
read
where
about
you guys
that.
Are.
No, I didn't hear.
Yeah, the two Henrys are Henry Flagler,
right,
and Henry Plant.
That's right. Is that what Plant City's
Florida
named
history.
after?
What's that?
Is that what Plant City's named after, Henry Plant?
Exactly. Yep.
Aha.
Yep. And but both of those gentlemen were here in the 1880s, 1890s. Obviously, Henry Flagler being much more known down the east coast of Florida, from St. Augustine to Key West,
right.
Where Henry Plant chose the west coast and really got Tampa on the map, as well as took his railroad all the way down to Punta Gorda.
Joe, I
But,
gotta. I hate to interrupt you, but I gotta say, I just tried the blueberry for the first time, and we were drinking the strawberry the whole time.
This is wildberry.
Oh, this is wildberry.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I thought it was blueberry too.
This wildberry one, really good. I mean, I love the strawberry, but this one here, it definitely comes through with a lot more. It's more wine-like to me. Maybe just because it's a dark fruit.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
You know.
Well, actually, that is our best seller.
Okay. Yeah. And right off the bat.
You got good taste.
Thank you.
That out of 19, the 19
That tastes like
that
Kool-Aid.
we-
No, it tastes.
we
It's
produce,
good.
that is our number one seller, and it's a combination. Remember, I was telling you that they're fusion wines. It's a Pinot Noir grape
I could tell. Yeah.
blended with strawberry, blackberry, raspberries. So
That's
you
good.
that's where you get the sweetness from, but it's definitely it's a Pinot base.
Well, you know, it's nice because you have the Pinot base, and then you set up all the other wild berries on top of that. So you get more of a structure from it. You know what I mean? You get an array of flavors, and it starts out with one, and then it kind of moves through a lot. You get nuances, and I find that very. I mean, these are incredibly
Delicious.
refreshing wines. They're perfect for just all types of outdoor activities.
Very
especially-
Floridian.
Yeah, very Floridian. Yeah, you guys put your mark on these big time, for sure. I'm excited to try some of your beers. You know, I'd heard about your beers. Definitely, I read about it in a blog, I believe, somewhere. So the word's getting out there, and I can't wait to come up to to the facilities and check them out and try all this stuff. This is amazing. For
Yeah,
sure.
if you can get here on the 19th of October, it's going to be great. Not only are we releasing our beers, but we're hoping to get at least 60 or 70 home brewers from the Tampa Bay area
Shouldn't be hard, man.
here with their products.
They're all over the place.
Uh,
We love it. I
yeah.
love the homebrew revolution. The Two Henrys, man, that's fantastic. I like some of these bands you got playing, man. Soul Circus Cowboys. That sounds pretty awesome. So it's
They
gonna be
are
a
very
rockin' night.
good.
Tampa,
Very
yeah,
good.
Tampa's like a very cool place. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of fun stuff, and you guys got some great breweries up there. Now that you guys are definitely one of the better wineries. I've traveled through that part of the world, but I was telling these guys, unless you have a destination for some of these wineries, I've been to a few. It's tough to get off the main road and get to them. But I'm definitely going to hit you guys next time I'm up there. I love this stuff. It's
we
very
appreciate
good.
it. We'd love to have you.
I'm sorry we didn't get to try the Key West. Talk
I
to
was
me a little
looking
bit.
forward to that.
Jason was we didn't get that one, unfortunately. Could you tell us a little bit about that one, if you don't mind?
Yeah,
West
sure. It kind of happened by accident. Actually, I actually have a second home in Sugarloaf Key in the Florida
Nice.
Keys.
Oh,
I love
isn't
it
that
down
nice?
there. And,
Yeah.
my neighbor. This was probably 7 years ago. My neighbor, super nice guy, had a place down on Duval Street. He was selling jewelry and knickknacks, and he was struggling. That was '05, I believe, when all the hurricanes, if you remember
Right,
that
Wilma.
year, or '04. I don't remember. One of those when all the
It was 05.
It seemed like every week
Yeah, 05.
Key West was being evacuated.
Yeah.
And he was really struggling. And I said, listen, why don't you open up a tasting room at your place here on Duval Street and get your license? And sure enough, he did. And he asked if I would create a Key West styled wine. So we came up. That's a Sauvignon Blanc grape base with really with more than just key lime. There's actually some oranges in it, and
Yeah, it would be
some
tough
other
to go
citrus.
just lime because it's acidity. But I think I've been there actually. He has a tasting room with Florida wines. It's more towards the down towards Mallory part of Duval, right? It's on the other
Yes.
end. Yeah, I've been there for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely popped in there, did some tasting. Very
Well,
cool.
you know what? Another thing that happened there, real quick, I'll share with you.
Yeah.
We're 10 miles from Public's corporate headquarters, and everybody. And I'm sure everybody in your listening audience knows who Publix is. Well, anyway, they were in Key West on a business trip. One of those things where they spend an hour talking business and spent the
Yeah, you
weekend.
got to put parentheses
on Wall
up with your fingers, like business trip, right?
Well, they went into his shop and tasted our wine, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's from Plant City." They go, "Plant City? 10 miles from our headquarters, and they called us, which is
Wow.
really almost unheard of.
Yeah,
That's
that is-
unbelievable.
Yeah, you got to fight to get your stuff in Publix.
Yeah. So and it's been a great relationship. But we that's how that happened. That's how we got in our door in Publix, is down in Key West of all places. So.
Well, Joe, it sounds to me like it was meant to be, and by tasting these wines, I can't,
Absolutely.
I can't wish you the best. You've already got a great, 10 years underneath your belt, and many more to come. I would imagine. Seemed like a really great guy, and I can't wait to come up and see the facilities. And I can't thank you enough for being a guest on By the Glass. I mean, you absolutely wonderful stories, and good luck definitely with the brewery too. I mean, with the new beers coming out.
When that beer comes out, we'll have to have him on.
Yeah, I would love to. You know what? Once you guys are up and running with that, would you mind maybe your son calling in too, and you send us some of your two Henrys? Can we do that? Repeat show?
Sure.
We'd love
Definitely.
it, man. We would love that. Awesome.
Definitely.
Cool. Joe Keel, founder, president. Big round of applause.
Congratulations.
Joe Keel. 10 years, baby. 1 million bottles. I would love, just because we're associated now with the Keel and Curley doesn't mean we can't win the trip, right? So we'll be out there in public.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to hold you to it.
We're not employees.
We're looking for the golden cork, baby. Fantastic. Joe Keel, thank you so much. You have a great evening.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
What a great guy. What a great guy. We're going to come right back, and when we do, we're going to enjoy ourselves, have a little bit more fun like we always do here on SoFlo Radio on BuyTheGlassShow.com.
Join the radio revolution. SoFloRadio.com.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now, 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Strawberry passion smoothie.
Get your hands off me!
Huh?
I said don't touch me!
I shouldn't have went to that party last night. Now I'm seeing talking fruit.
You're not dreaming, Bubba, and you're not putting me in that blender.
But you're just a fruit.
Who you calling a fruit?
You are. You're a delicious passion fruit.
Why, sure, I'm passionate. How would you like to be blended, huh? I got right, you know.
Customers waiting. You gotta go.
Yeah, but wait, you can...
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. To make the best smoothies and wraps on earth, try our new cilantro lime-alicious wrap or our hot chipotle chicken. Power Smoothie in Aventura, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Open 7 days a week.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
This is John Etch in the Sports Heads.
You don't flick a player off knowing he can't do anything bad because he will get consequences for it. I applaud Joakim Noah for holding his composure, and then not flipping up, because clearly we see he has a temper as it is.
Tuesday 7 to 9, Thursday 8 to 10.
John Edge and the Sports Heads
On SoFloRadio.com.
And now we return you to By the Glass.
So welcome back to By the Glass Show. That's my favorite Austin Powers show.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. It's the best. Oh, my God.
That was awesome.
Awesome. We're having a great time here. Welcome back to By the Glass. I mean, this is a lot of fun. We just had Mr. Joe Keel calling in. That's what I love about this show, guys, is we don't just talk about products here. We get the people that make them and own the freaking place to call in and talk to us. How cool is that? Yeah, you know, a lot of people can't boast that type of thing. I was just doing
they just bring the bottle.
Yeah, I know, and they talk about it. You know, whatever his name is, Jimmy Syphilis. He gets somebody to call in, and and he actually had one winemaker one time on his show.
Yeah, the guy from Italy, you couldn't even understand him.
Yeah, but no.
He had a winemaker on once.
Yeah. What was that,
George?
You're off
that was my Italian thing.
That was your Italian thing?
That was my Italian gesture there.
No, I'm just kidding around, man. I ain't gonna talk bad about people, but
except for calling him syphilis.
I'm sorry, I was just a slur. I didn't mean it.
That's the wine talking.
No, but it's funny. It's so funny too because I meet people all the time. Last night I was doing a beer dinner over in Plantation for New Belgium, and I had a guy that was there, and this guy was the kind of guy where people are asking me questions, and he's jumping in front of me to like answer them. He's one of those.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, buddy, just calm down, But he was a really nice guy, and I gave him a card, and he said, listen, like,
hopefully
he must have brought up everything out of his mouth. Now I'm not kidding. Literally everything out of his mouth was a show we did. He's like, oh my God, he's talking about Lefroy. I'm like, Simon Brooking, best show ever. Yeah. He's like, oh, and I tried this Angel Envy. Yeah, you know the guy who made that Jack Daniels for 20 years?
We've had him on.
Best
that's
show
some
ever.
of my favorite bourbon, actually. Yeah.
He was on. The guy called in.
Yeah.
He was like, we're like, hey, we're sorry to bother you. He's like, oh, I was at church. Remember that? He's like, I was at church. We're like, oh, we're so sorry. He's like, man, you all a bunch of gullible sons of bitches. Seriously, everything out of this guy's mouth. I'm like, yeah, we did that show. And not only did we do that show, but I had a guy call in who made it.
You just reminded me. I had to go pick some of that up.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
We had like
drank the whole bottle.
We had like 3 or 4 of those. Yeah. That was fun.
I mean, everybody, you can name any product. It doesn't matter who it is, from Sam Adams to frickin', Tikal, Argentine winemakers. They've been here and they've been on our show to talk about things.
There's beer that we had on this show.
This is going to be like the encyclopedia of alcohol when you line up all these shows.
Yeah, it's such a great product for people. I love to talk about it and say, and the fact that it's archived.
I've been tagging all the sites with all the shows with keywords, so you could search our site.
Yeah. It's really easy.
Search for something and then find it.
What's the best way? Talk a little bit about that for the people.
Just go to the site, type in what you're looking for, or anything.
You got a little search.
Yeah. You go on you go onto the homepage, and right on the right there's a search bar, and I search for stuff all the time on there. I just go, man, what was that beer we had? And I kind of put beer or whatever, and I scroll through and I go, that's the one.
Yeah. If it's like a flavored beer, I usually put like whatever.
Really, you can do that in the search bar.
Yeah, and it puts the show. It puts that show right up, and you can listen to it.
That's amazing.
And who made it? Yeah, it's great.
Lots of fun times, lots of interesting, celebrations that we've had. Us getting drunk on the radio is always a good time. And we've had some crazy. I want to have a show. I want to do another show. We haven't, we've had a lot of shows that are lately have been a lot of introspects. I love having guys like Joe Keel on to talk about his wonderful brands and stuff. But I also want us to have some fun. We need to have another show where we're making drinks. Remember we used to.
That's what I was talking about.
Some of my favorite times are Dio and Jason with the freaking cocktail.
I did it this weekend.
The 1 minute margarita.
I did it this past weekend with the Jacob's Ghost.
You did?
Yes.
That was another great show.
Yes, that was great.
We were at the Hard Rock, and I
brought all the gear, man. Yeah, I brought all the tools.
Yes,
I had some mixers, and I'm just like, Jacob's
Ghost. 1 minute mojito.
Mixers.
That's what it was.
Yeah, the 1 minute mojito.
That was yes.
My 1 minute mojito.
Yes,
that's too bad. Our buddy Doug, who was our resident flavored vodka guy, he moved up to Tampa. Not here anymore. But I'm gonna find somebody new to come in. I'm sure Ed can work on it. Ed, I know you're sitting at home listening right now.
He's probably working.
Mad scientist mode on the internet, trying to get this next show going. Let's get something fun. Let's get a big party going on in here. We got the new studio.
Want to show off my bartending skills.
Classy new studio.
I definitely want. We should have like a bartender, type of contest or something.
Sure.
I wish we could come up with some kind of crazy marketing.
Get Paige Nast in here with all those simple syrups that she makes. And,
what was that?
Teach us.
Oh my God, that was another amazing.
She could do a little seminar and teach us how to do like inside bartender tricks or something.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, there's nothing really fun and easy about that, the inside bartender. I mean, she's like going to like all these different local places and like picking herbs and roots.
She could share. She's like, here's something you can do at home.
She's like, my simple syrup is
with agave and freaking mint leaves and
yeah. She's got like all this. She's like,
let's have her.
Doesn't sound that simple.
Something you got to shake though.
Simple about it.
It's complicated.
Whatever she teaches us how to do, it's got to be something that you shake.
Oh, yes, George, you and your evil.
Yeah,
mom.
Our simple syrup is like warm water and sugar.
So, well, okay, so we're coming to
still has to
a
shake it.
whole another segment of types of good beers. So we got all the pumpkins coming out again, right? We remember that pumpkin beer show?
Yeah, that was a pumpkin show.
All right, so that's going to be coming up.
That was
soon.
delicious.
Well, here's what I want to do. We're going to have Holly back on for George.
Everyone's going to have a pumpkin.
And we're going to have her cook with all different pumpkin beers.
Whoa.
Different things. And then she can make those, and then we'll taste those, and we'll pair them with different beers. That
she doesn't need a stove to cook, because she's so
hot. There you go.
Damn. Is anybody paying attention to the smile on his face right now?
No. I'm not
I love Ed Roberts.
That's
Ed
all he
can
has
do
to
no
say.
wrong for the rest of ever.
Here we go.
He will never call him Edit Roberts again.
Nope. Nope. He's my hero.
So we're gonna do that, and then we definitely. I want to have a show about cocktails. I want to have somebody in here to promote cocktails and make some really fun, crazy stuff.
We've had some fun cocktails.
And after that, we got to hit the Riverside Market again.
Yeah,
it's shrimp
definitely-
tacos.
I was just there today talking to Julian, and we definitely have to. He's
They
getting a
were
lot of
just on
play.
the news.
Yeah, Deco Drive.
They're
last night.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, I actually teach at Riverside Academy. I am one of the professors.
Oh,
yes, absolutely,
nice.
and it's gotten me a lot of play. It really has. Actually, I was invited to do the last
I
night
thought you were
with Deco
married.
Drive. I was invited to do last night with Deco Drive, but I double booked myself, and unfortunately,
You could have
I
saw
blew my big,
Belkin
I
or
blew my
or
big,
whatever.
my
Miss
big.
Belkies?
Yes, I did. I blew my big, my
Your
chance
chance
to
with
make it
Belkies.
big. Yes,
Or
Or
the
to
other
be on the
dude.
TV, So,
Yeah.
but that's okay. I'm on the radio every Thursday at 6.
That's
on
right.
Soulful
And we're on
Radio
video, so
and
people can see your face.
ByClassShow.com. That's right. But I think the great thing about Riverside Market is that every time I walk in there, there's always something going on in that place.
It's great. You got your favorite beers. They got the best food.
I walked
whatever
in
you
there
need.
today, and Jason sent many people in there.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, I sent people over there all
I
the
walk
time.
in there today, and Julian's like, "Oh, Brett, we love you. You're such a star." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Not only did somebody come in today, but somebody came in last week. But this guy that came in today, he's like, Brett Hubbard sent me in here. He's like, you got to go to Riverside Market." And the guy was just like out of control. He's like, I love this place, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I tell everyone to tell the owner who
Yeah,
we're
send
sending
them
them
in,
there.
so-
So
Yeah.
But-
Just say fish tacos.
It's fish tacos. We
Dude,
just
the
did a-
margarita
Yeah.
pizza.
Oh, that one
absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll put the margarita pizza up to your fish tacos any day.
Let's. Don't want to choose. Let's have both.
If you're in the mood for
I love
spicy,
George.
you go
He wants
fish
both.
tacos. If you're in the mood for pizza, you definitely get that margarita pizza.
I'm always in the mood for both.
There
And
you
the
go.
funny thing is that we always do really great beer dinners there, and every time I do a beer dinner there, it's always like a few months apart. There's always like a new chef or a new cook or something, but the food is always great, and the beer is always great, and they give me the run of the place, so I'm running around screaming at the top of my lungs, They're just having a hell of a time.
And always ask Julian for his secret stash.
Yes, I was gonna say that right now. I like doing the shows there because then all of a sudden
He's-
there's this bottle that nobody else has.
Yeah, he's always got the secret stash. I think he said he busted out a Heady Topper, which is a really high end bottle of
What was the
craft
one with
beer.
the bicycle on it?
Well, that was the Fat Tire.
New Belgium, yeah.
Yeah, that's back when he had to stash it.
We couldn't get it down here, yeah.
Right. Well, now it was funny because last night he was just like, it was one of the beers that they presented actually on the show while Deco Drive was doing retakes and stuff. And so I think that we can probably go to it live. I think if you go to Deco Drive is on channel
7.
WSVN. WSVN. So if you go to that and then you take a look under that, there's on the side on the left there, you can find the Riverside Market Beer Academy. So it's a lot of fun. I never turned down a chance to get up and pontificate to everyone for an hour. I definitely want to, be in everybody's face. That's kind of what I do. So tons and tons of fun.
That's why you're a talk show host.
Yeah. It's,
takes somebody. It takes that kind of personality. I'm in your face.
Well, we're having a great time here. This is a fantastic tonight. Let's not take anything away from Keel and Curley. It's interesting that you can go into Florida, like I said, and this is someone who I think it's almost better to stumble upon something that you say, you know what, I could do that.
Well,
as
we
opposed
don't have
to-
the great grapes like
No.
everywhere else in France or wherever, so he's got to make...
Well, Jason, the first thing I do is shake his hand for not making a muscadine wine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because
Right?
we've tried that wine before.
Yeah, and it's got, you know what, people can make the best muscadine wine in the world, but it's just that grape. It's not something you want to make into an edible product.
Well, we found out you can make vodka out of muscadine wine. It's great.
Our boys over at the Moonshine.
Yeah, the Firefly.
The Firefly guys over there on Wadmala Island. That's a really cool place, Wadmala Island.
No, really?
Well, you know how I found out about Wadmala Island? I was
How?
watching like one of those murder mystery shows with my wife. Because why is it every woman in the world loves those?
They love those. Sure, man. Yeah.
They all want to kill us,
My
right?
DVR is filled up with them.
Right? They all want to
they're
kill us.
evil
They all
bitches,
sit there.
man.
Well, hey, come on now. They all sit there and and they secretly think about what they're going to do to us. You know what pisses me off the worst is the chick that kills the guy with the Gatorade radiator fluid stuff. What's the stuff? The antifreeze. That poor son of a bitch. He's sitting there in the bed, right? And he's drinking antifreeze. She's like, "Oh, poor honey, don't worry." He's throwing up, and she's have some more Jello, and he's like, "Oh, I feel really bad." It's like. Oh my God! It's like how evil you guys.
Yeah. Men are very violent.
I mean, Lorena Bobbitt, at least she cut it off. He put it back on. You know, he was a porn star. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what? He turned out okay, but that poor son of a bitch who died from the antifreeze.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Women are not as violent, so it's a slow death.
It's a slow death. Yeah, definitely.
You're gonna find out.
They marry you about 20, then it's a slow death till you kick the bucket at 80, right? Oh, I'm just kidding.
And that's why we drink.
I'm not.
But anyway, I was sitting there. Yeah. Back to my point, the reason I found out Guatemala Island is because it was one of those murder mystery shows, and they actually buried the body out there. It's a very remote place out there off the coast of Southern Carolina, but it is beautiful. And yes, the people that actually run the Moonshine Winery, Firefly and Moonshine, those guys make great wine, beer, and spirits. They are people after our own heart down here.
I introduced a couple to like 3 of my buddies to the Moonshine last Friday. Let's just say
really?
It was an eventful day.
It is. You know, what it did for me personally was I do a lot of stuff with beer where I have to taste off flavors. It's a big part of what I do. So I can't smell cream corn. It's like 10% of the population. It's called DMS, dimethyl sulfide. It's a form of sulfur, but I can't smell it.
Oh, really?
It's weird. It's like cream corn does not come through. Like my boss, you know, he's from like Indiana. Part of his life, he's like, man, I know cream corn. Like
it smells
I've
delicious.
had cream corn like my whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. That's my favorite.
But it's just something you just can't pick up. But they use over 50%. Actually, the moonshine is 100% corn mash. So that means they just take 100% corn, and that's what they distill to make that moonshine. So if you smell it, it smells like corn. I mean, it is sweet. And you guys remember that? It was a nice sweet corn.
Yeah, it was very sweet. And the flavored ones, it smelled exactly like, okay, this is apple pie moonshine. It smells exactly like apple pie.
And this caramel moonshine is great. And those two together?
Yes.
Oh, my
well, that's what I had on Friday.
Did you really?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's great. No, they're fantastic stuff. And I know that, and then, of course, the cinnamon, the whiskey. What's that? The Fireball.
Oh, my goodness.
I've gone through 3 bottles since she was on the show.
I've introduced people to that one, too.
Yeah. I love that. It's great that it's everywhere. I could just drink that all night.
It's
like
at every bar I've gone to.
The balance between the alcohol and the amount of cinnamon in it is perfect. I'll drink that until it burns a hole.
Me and George went out and had some Fireball whiskey. Don't like to talk about that night though.
Listen.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to thank everybody.
Rank amateurs. You
enjoy all these wonderful beer, wine, spirits, and all. We reminisce about good times. We always like to thank everybody that's ever been on the show, and we also want to say, please enjoy all these wonderful products responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Do not overconsume. No one drinking under 21. If you're pregnant, wait the 9 months. Your kids will thank you with all their fingers and toes. Jason. Talk to me a little bit about some of the analytics we've had. We've had some good spikes.
We've had some really good results on the shows.
Definitely go to buytheglassshow.com. You can just hit the listen live on the menu, and that's how you listen right from your iPhone.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're listening on your computer and you want to go to the next step of your actual iPhone, that's a great way to do it. And then you can always go to SoFloRadio.com, find the Buy the Glass Show, and just listen from there, too. Do you need to download the player?
No, there's no downloading necessary.
Yeah.
You can listen on any player that you have, Live 365, anything, or you can click on any of the symbols that you see up on top of the page there.
We get hits from all over the world, actually.
Yep.
That's fantastic, yeah. Ed, I want you to work on a show where we're having some fun and we're partying. Bring in somebody, we're having some fun. I want an in-house guest. Just one. So that all of us
dancing girls, please.
Well, we don't need dancing girls. We want somebody who's fun, make some cocktails.
I want to compete with somebody who actually bartends.
Let's do that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a man in the street, which is Dio, and we're going to put him up against a great mixologist. Ed, work on that for me. Let's do something fun. We'll have some good times, and we'll enjoy ourselves as we always do here. Guys, it's been a wonderful evening. I can't thank you enough for everybody for listening in. Joe Keel, founder, president, Keel and Curley Winery. Unbelievable show. Great. Wish him the best of luck, and definitely congratulations. Ed Roberts, thank you so much for putting another great show together. Having a wonderful time. To my lovely, adoring fans, go out and buy some Keel and Curley. Maybe you win a trip to Napa and have a great time of it. It's a wonderful place and interesting aspect on the world of wine and so on and so forth. And with that, I dub you good night and have a wonderful evening. Take care.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com.